Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Sonder Social. I'm Malika. I will be leading you through your social today. Um, we are in for a treat. I'm so excited to get started with you all. It's been a while since I've hosted a journaling social, and those are my favorite. Fun fact. So I'm very excited to do it with you all. And we have a ton of folks dialing in and so many more that are joining. So it is a true treat. For those of you who have never had a social with me, I am Malika. I host Sonder socials from time to time. I'm dialing in from sunny San Francisco. We had a sunny day. So very, very excited to have some sunshine. It's been nothing but rain for many, many days. So we are very happy as Californians need our sun. And I'm joined by Jennifer Krippner, who is just going to wave. There she is. Everyone say hello to Jennifer. She's going to be in the chat with me tonight. If you have any questions or anything like that, she'll do her best to answer. And yeah, so we're very excited to have you guys here with us. And before we get started, is there anyone that's new to Sonder socials or maybe new to a journaling social? Is there anybody kind of new to these types of events? Shout yourselves out in the chat. I do see some familiar names in the chat. So hello to everyone. Welcome back to those who are returning and huge welcome to the new folks. Great. All right. We have Jennifer, we have Kim, we have Vicky. Amazing. Well, welcome. And make sure to set your chat to everyone. I see most folks are typing to everyone, which is great, but just do a double check. Sometimes Zoom gets finicky, and I just want to make sure that everyone can see your lovely, lovely answers, because this is the time where we get to really share, because journaling tends to be a lot of reflection. So this will be fun to kind of dive in together. All right, I'm going to walk us through the community guidelines since we do have some new folks here. I'll run through them pretty quickly. Just remember that we want to be kind and courteous to yourself and others. No promotions or spam. Make sure to respect everyone's privacy. No hate speech or bullying. Limit any product and accessory questions or customer care inquiries. You can send that to our HQ team, hello@silkensonder.com. And just remember that these Sonder socials are a way for us to all connect with each other and really lean into the community. I think one of the best parts about Silk and Sonder that I love is Sonder socials, because we get to all really connect and get the most out of the product that we use every day. And I always get so many ideas from all of you. So I definitely love connecting with you all on these socials as well, even as a facilitator. All right, so let's chat about momentum. Okay, so I wanted to read the definition of momentum that Meha wrote in her letter on page 2. This month we're celebrating momentum, a force that propels us forward, igniting the spark of progress and change. And I think that goes really hand in hand with the month of March. I think when I think of March, I think of spring starting. I think of a fresh start. I think of kind of is it daylight saving? Yeah, daylight savings is over, or yeah, daylight saving time starts. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. We get a little bit more sun, is what I'm trying to say. And I just think it's really kind of a fresh start. And I love momentum because it just really kind of goes hand in hand with that month of March, that feeling that evokes for me when I think of March. So let's all keep that in mind when we think of momentum. We're going to really lean into what is momentum? How do we get in the state of flow? How do we keep going? How do we feel kind of ready for kind of being in our most like optimal state, whatever that may look like. So I love this theme. I think this is perfect, and I'm excited to dive in together. All right. So I'll walk us through the agenda. We're going to first start off with an opening activity centered around momentum. Then we will move on to the momentum journal prompts. And then we will close off with the highlight of my day. So let's start off with the opening activity. This activity is called Momentum Affirmations. So for this activity, turn to a notes page, and we're gonna kind of think about a motivational mantra that helps us move forward. And you can add to it week to week. Maybe you want to add something that centers around this mantra. It could also include anything creative. So think, if you want to use calligraphy, if you want to use stickers, if you want to use your colored pens, this is a time to really bring out that creativity and just put it on the page. And think about what that mantra is for you. Think about something that can really resonate with you and help you lean into this theme for the month. And yes, Vicky, the open notes page is one of those graph pages in your Silk and Sonder, but it doesn't have to be tied to that. It can also, if you want to do this on a separate blank page, you can definitely do that. There's no rules. You can do it however you'd like to format it. But really thinking about what is that momentum mantra. So I have some examples for you all. If you are struggling to pick one or choose one, here are some mantras that are centered around the theme of momentum. So feel free to pick one of these, come up with your own. Don't let this limit you on kind of if you want to pick your own. These are just examples if you want just want to pick one. And then I also wanted to share some beautiful examples. I pulled these off of Pinterest, so these are not mine, but these are some examples of how you can structure your page, kind of putting that mantra in the middle, getting really creative with how your lettering or your drawings or kind of the designs behind it, whatever helps you feel like you want to turn to this page, you want to look at this page and help you kind of go through your month and keep that momentum in the back of your head. So I will I will swap between these three slides, and I'll give you all some time to set up your motivational mantras for momentum, and I'll check back in a few. All right. Thank you all for the great conversation in the chat. You all are very inspirational. I love all the fun mantras that everyone's sharing. There's so many quotes. So thank you. They're much better than what was on the slide. So thank you all for sharing what you're writing down. We will now move on to our journaling prompts. So turn to page, all right, 14 for the journaling prompts, and we'll go box by box together. So we'll start at that first box at the top. And for this one, I want you to write about a time when you were in a state of flow and everything just seemed to come together. What were you pursuing? And how did that process of momentum make you feel? So when I thought about this, and I was filling this out myself, I was trying to think about when was that last time I felt like truly energized and in a state of flow. And it started it was in college. Came from like it was kind of rocky in the beginning for me. But then I flipped a switch, I changed my degree. I really took ownership of kind of what I wanted to do. And I found a much better fit for me. And I enjoyed college so much. I enjoyed what I learned. I was surrounded by people that were really motivational and also wanted a challenge. And I was very challenged. And everything just seemed like it was a good fit for me. And I feel like that was kind of time I was in a state of flow and everything just seemed to come together in a beautiful way. And even though academically I had a rocky start, I was really, really thriving every semester after when I made that change. So it stems from a change. And then I was in that momentum of pursuing a path that was a better fit for me. So that is kind of the last time I was in a state of flow, but obviously these are so personal. So try to think back on different areas of your life, different periods of your life. Of course, there are times where we don't feel like that, but there are times where you are very energized, and it's fun to kind of reflect on that state, that time. So I will give you all a few minutes to write about your time when you were in a state of flow, and then we'll move on to the next section. All right. Thank you all for sharing. I know this one is tricky, right? It's hard to think back. Either maybe it's in your present. There's a few folks that are in a state of flow right now, which I love that for you. But there are folks that like me who haven't been in a state of flow in a while, and it's tough to reflect back on when that moment was for us and kind of thinking about what was going on in our lives and how it felt. It takes a little bit of digging in our memory. So, thank you all for kind of sitting down and taking the time to reflect. And we will now move on to the next section. So, the box underneath. And for this one, I want you to think about a situation or a challenge you're currently facing that feels stagnant, that makes you feel stuck. I love this picture. It's very adorable of this little kid looking at all the steps. Um, I think it really captures kind of how I feel. I like this picture because it captures how I'm feeling right now. I unfortunately feel like I'm in a situation where I'm feeling the most stuck. Just all areas of my life are just kind of in disarray. And it was a lot of unexpected situations all happening at a short time period. And it's kind of like the perfect storm that really rocks the boat. But I think that's what I reflected on for this section. And I think in terms of identifying what I'm facing that makes me feel stuck, I think part of it is the daunting reality that my life is going to go through isn't going to be in a state of transition, and I don't do well with change. I think I've noticed that about myself. I think physically I'm able to like adapt to an environment, so moving doesn't stress me out as much, but change in like work or personal life or whatever it may be, those I struggle with because I haven't had too much change, just historically when I was growing up. So I think I struggle with that, and that's why I do feel a little stuck. I don't know where to start, and I tend to overanalyze and overthink. But that is the reason I feel stagnant. I don't know where to start. There's so many paths. But I think what I realized is maybe I can think about, instead of worrying about the consequences of a path unknown, starting out with one of those paths and testing it and seeing if that works. If not, then I pivot to the other option. And just trying things out is kind of my kind of solution to that. So I will give you all a few minutes to reflect. I already see some chatter going on in the chat, which is great. This one, let it sit, take a deep breath. I know it's always hard to dwell on things that are mostly negative, but take a deep breath and reflect, and we'll regroup in a few minutes. right. Thank you all for sharing. I know it's hard to reflect on what makes us stuck. And a lot of emotions can come to the surface when we reflect on challenges or situations that we're facing. Um, but I just want to say I'm really, really proud for everyone showing up here tonight. I think being vulnerable in a group of strangers is always tricky. But here you are, and I think that shows that you are progressing in the way that is only going to help you. So thank you all for sharing your situations. I'm sending you so much love. I wish I could give you all a hug. And yes, we are only strangers because we haven't met face to face. That's correct, Brenda. I feel like I do get to know each one of you as we go through these. So you all are like an extension of my world, and I am so blessed to be in such great company. All right, we will now move on to that last box, which is what are 3 actions that can help you regain momentum for this challenge or situation. I already saw it in the chat. Some folks were already they have that positive mindset just built in, so they know kind of what's gonna help them. But maybe some like specific actions that you can take to help you with that situation that you're facing. Obviously, these I just grab these resources, and these are just inspirational. Obviously you should tailor it to match your situation, but I like that these kind of encapture different kind of spheres of your life, but depending on what your challenge is. So take a look, see if there's any of these actions that could help. So if you're feeling like stuck, whether it be intellectually, maybe you don't feel like you're growing enough at work, maybe you're just not really challenged and you want to feel like you are like growing and learning, think about how you can evolve that learning. Some action steps in that regard would be maybe reading some books, listening to a podcast that's in a subject that you're interested in, watching a master class, listening to a mentor or a person that really inspires you, thinking about signing up for a course that is maybe at nighttime for like an hour a week, just to build upon that habit and learn more about something that you're interested in. I think those are kind of the action items that can stem from maybe if that was kind of a situation that you were dealing with. So I'll give you all a few moments to reflect on what those 3 actions are. I think what would be really cool is maybe if they are bite-sized enough and you feel like you could do it, you could always add this to your habit tracker for next week if you feel like that might be a way to really put it into action. So that's always a fun way to take this as well. So I'll give you all a few moments, figure out what those 3 actions are to gain that momentum, and then we'll regroup in a few minutes. All right. Thank you all for sharing kind of your action plan for how you're going to kind of reach that state of momentum. There's so many great tidbits in the chat, so thank you all for sharing. We will now move on to our next activity. I know we only have 15 minutes left, but this is the highlight of my day. So, okay, full disclosure, I was talking to Jennifer Krippner and we were like, for highlight of my day, it's typically filled out day by day. But I wanted to kind of bring some ideas that maybe if you haven't even started this section, you can maybe take note of and you can switch around if you'd like, or different things to remember as you fill out your highlight of my day log. So, one idea, as you can see on the screen, this is a gratitude tracker on the right. But I like the fact that they had different formats of different things that could be a highlight of your day. So maybe you want to focus on some things that you do, but different areas, and just kind of take inventory of those highlights. So that is somewhere where you can do that. And then also, when we think about our rosebud thorn, we think about the highlight of our week. So when we think about highlights of our day, maybe putting a little bit of like a rose next to one of those highlights that happened that week could be fun. So maybe there's a certain highlight that you want to almost highlight from that week. You can indicate that in this page. So maybe it's drawing a little rosebud, or kind of circling the number of that day. You can kind of think about how you kind of bring a little bit more attention to one of those highlights. And then there's also this concept of the three good things. So say you want to structure it in a way where you could even, I mean, when I was thinking about this, you could do it in three columns. So maybe you write down three columns for each of the days, and you think about one thing that's your highlight, so the actual highlight itself, what your role was in that highlight, and what positive emotion was associated with that highlight. So I was thinking about this in regards to my highlight from yesterday. My good friend, my longtime best friend, Andrew, he sent me cookies from Levain Bakery in New York, which is one of my favorite cookie stores. And he sent them to me just because I've been going through a rough couple months, and it was super unexpected. And my role in that highlight was being really appreciative and eating those cookies, I guess. And my positive emotion associated with my highlight is really a lot of gratitude and just a lot of love, just true love from a good friend. And it was just really unexpected and really sweet, and just reminded me that even though it's like a lot of these friends I barely see, I see once every few years now, just adult life, it happens that way when you're not living in the same city. It doesn't mean that they aren't a close friend and the love isn't there. So it was just a nice reminder. And it was really nice and a really, really great highlight to my day and to my week. So I will give you all some time to think about maybe how you want to structure it. I love the three good things. I'll pop it in the chat so you have it as a reference of kind of what those sections are. So it's a highlight, what your role is in that highlight, and what positive emotion was associated with that highlight. So I will give you all some time to think about your highlight of your day, and then we'll regroup in a little bit.
hands up.
All right. we are nearing the end of our social, but thank you all for kind of spending the time to not only reflect on momentum with the journaling prompts, but also kind of take inventory of the highlights of our day. I think that's a great way to remember how we can kind of stay positive and upbeat. And I will now encourage you all to share your pages, especially your opening activity. I feel like that would be so fun to share for in Sonder Club, just so that everyone can see all the creativity that you have put on your page. Jennifer already put in the links in the chat, but make sure to take advantage of our referral program. If you enjoy Silk and Sonder and you know someone close to you that also does, make sure to take advantage of the referral program. If you're not on the annual subscription, make sure to take a peek at that. You might save a ton of money. So that's also available to you. And also fill out our feedback survey. We're always trying to tailor our events to best serve the community. So definitely take a peek at that. And if you have some feedback, we'd love to hear it. And also we have the YouTube link in the chat. This social will take a few days to be posted to that channel, but that's a private YouTube channel for all of you. And that will kind of house all of our content. So thank you all so much for a lovely hour well spent on you. And I am honored to have spent this hour with all of you as well. It's always a great pick me up after doing one of these socials with you all. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Sonder fam, for rocking with me, rolling with me, and making sure to keep momentum on our minds. So I will hopefully see you at my next social. Have a great weekend. I know it's Friday already, my goodness. Have a great weekend, and I will see you at the next one. Bye, everybody.
Sun's up, it's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself, leave the work for someone else. People say